Hi, name's Avery Harper. I'm just going to go through quickly, briefly, explain this flow chart that we have in front of us, which is a buying of commodities that I would be interested in. So over here we have a start. The start begins here, where it's is there currently an open position? If yes, then do the following. So if there's already an open position, this is what's going to happen. First thing it's going to do, the program should basically see if the current time during the working day is active. So if the current time is during the working day, then it's going to do this here. If it's not during that current time for that working day, then it's going to go ahead and try to close the position. So if it is during the normal working day, then it's going to do this. It's going to say, is the previous bar MACD trend direction null? So either the direction is going to be uh, bullish or bearish. If it's bullish, then it is going up. If it's bearish, it's going down. Um, that's the market. If it's null, then it's neither going up or going down. So this is specifically saying, is the previous bar MACD trend direction null? So it's trying to find if there's a difference in the last bar that wasn't like that previously. So for example, if the MACD trend 2 bars ago was bullish and it's still bullish, then this should be null. If it was bullish and now it's bearish, then on the last previous bar, let's say it's bearish, then it wouldn't be null, right? It would be bearish, right? In either of those scenarios, it should reverse the position, right? Because that means whatever open position that was previously open should now basically be swapped because, well, it changed direction, right? Um, that's that part. If it is null, though, then what you're going to do, or what should be done in this situation, is there should be a new bar requested. So just trying to see if something changes here. And on the new bar, it'll check the same kind of things, basically, as the market open. If the market's open, then down here, it continues to see if it's going to reverse the position or not, or request a new bar. So if it doesn't reverse the position, and if it doesn't request a new bar, what are the other options? Well, when the actual purchasing of whatever commodity it was is opened, down here, which we haven't got to yet, it's going to go through, and whenever it buys and sells, or buys or shorts, or gets a long and a short on a position, there's going to be another variety of things that should be taken. For example, after a position is opened, whether it's bull or bear, it should go ahead and include what kind of profits it will go ahead and take. So for example, if profits exceed, or target profits 50 cents, right? Then it'll close after it gets 50 cents, right? There's also going to be a stop loss, right? So if you lose, 50 cents per commodity, or if, the ticker or whatever goes down and it goes down by 50 cents. In that case, it would go ahead and close if that's what, you assigned. You should be able to assign these things because it'll change depending on what you're trying to do. So that's the general idea over here on this right side. If there is a open position, then the position can either time out, which is close with the market value, close at market price, or it can reverse the position, which is down here if the last MACD bar is the opposite of whatever it was. If it was null and it hasn't changed, then basically just check again. And you're in between this time right here, this previous bar MACD direction null, request new bar is current time during the working day. During these three right here, basically what you're doing is you're waiting for the position that you have. You're really trying to get it to hit that target profit during that time where it's just cycling and checking and checking and checking. Well, technically this part isn't checking it. The target profit and the stop loss are basically statically kind of checking it. If you have a trailing stop, then the trailing stop is obviously going up, following whatever the current price is by however far the trail is supposed to be. Otherwise, it's basically this little part right here is just waiting. It's just waiting for trailing stop to get hit, profit, margin to get hit, and then in between, really it's just time, right? Either it'll close at the market price or it'll reverse position. So you have a few different options right in there. So again, it can close current market price. It can hit our target profit, which is not over here, but set up, should be set up right when the position's taken. It can get a new bar if, the previous MACD bar trend direction is null, meaning it hasn't changed. Since, we opened our position, so if it hasn't changed since our position has been opened, then it's just going to kind of loop around and wait. If the MACD trend direction has changed since we opened our position, then it will reverse the current position, which most likely means you'll probably be taking some kind of loss here. Most likely, right? The odds are against you on that one. And again, if that doesn't happen, then we have our stop loss or our trailing stop loss, which would be hit. So those are our options. Market, close at the market. That's option. Take profit. Request a new bar, which basically means we're just waiting out for something to happen. Reverse current position and trailing stop. So that's what we got there. We can see 1, 2, 3 of our options here, and then the other 2 options would be again opened down here when the position is originally opened, which is going to be our target profit and our stop loss. Okay, so I think that's enough on this right side. So let's go back over here. So is there currently a position open, or is there currently an open position? So if there's not currently an open position, then our funds, our capital, whatever you want to call it, is currently doing nothing for us, right? So we want to do something potentially with those funds as long as we're interested in getting into that time. So if we don't currently have an open position, the very next thing is, me personally, I don't want to have to sit around all day and really monitor this thing, like when it starts and all this other kind of fun stuff, if I don't have to be there, right? I'm not recommending that anyone ever not see what their finances are doing. This is simply something that I'm interested in. If I'm confident with a strategy, then I might employ a strategy. This is potentially my strategy, right? So this is how I'm going about things. So if the current time is during the working day, and the working day should have, again, parameters in regards to start and end of the day, and those should be changeable. The reason being is for things like holidays, right? Or maybe you're getting on an airplane in a little bit, and you want to make sure all your positions are closed before you get on the plane, right? So you can change that end date or end time and your beginning time to kind of jump in there. So it's trading basically when you want to trade, or maybe you only want to trade specific hours every day anyways, right? That's how that could be done. So over here, so if the current time during the working is the current time during the working day. If it's not during the working day, then request new bar. So basically this is a loop here to basically just be waiting and kind of buying time until it is within this specific time frame of the day that we want trading to happen and occur. So if If it is during the working day and during the time that we want it to trade, then it will do the following. It'll check to see if the previous bar MACD trend is null. So if the direction is null, right? So it hasn't changed since, the previous bars before it, right? So for the last 3 bars or 5 bars or 20 bars, it's all been bullish, right? I don't want to trade during a consistent uptrend, which I haven't been able to jump in on in the very beginning. That's what that is. I don't want something to trade where I'm potentially getting in on the middle of the MACD trend and it's all of a sudden starting to curve down, right? I'm not a very wealthy person right now. I'm not in the business of giving money to others like that over the stock markets, right? I might give to charitable, places and whatnot, but I'm not into, handing out funds to Joe Blow, which is just like, oh, look at this dumb guy Avery. Not interested in that right now. But what I am interested in is if the previous bar was the start of a new bullish trend or the start of a new bearish trend, I am interested then in buying on this current bar, right? If the last bar is bullish or bearish and it's the start of a new trend. So for example, I actually brought up my TD Ameritrade account so I can kind of show this. Give me a second. I'm going to pause my screen really. Here we go. Okay, so this is potentially an account that could be traded. You can see, well, no, you can't see it. Well, there's like no funds in this account, so it's not even worth hacking. So over here on the far left, you can see that right here over where I'm hovering, this is a bar that has a new trend, right? There's an up arrow on this specific bar. That means on this bar right here, the very next bar, I would want to immediately buy at market price. That's what I'm saying here. Same thing here. So here's the new bar. The trend is going down. So on the very next bar, I would want to open a short at market price. The reason at market price is because I want to get in. I understand I might be paying a little bit more. I understand that hypothetically, if the very next bar was $2 billion, I could be buying that for $2 billion, and I could be losing stupid amounts of money, and I could get screwed or whatever. That's fine. But ultimately, I want to open a position here. That's what this is, and this would be opening a short, right? So the target profit. So for example, for this one, it looks like this is Planet Fitness. You could say if it decreases by a penny, right, go ahead and buy my position or flatten the position, right? So that would be one way of the position closing. Another way of the position closing would be at the end of market. Go ahead and close it if you haven't reached your target profit or your stop loss, right? So the stop loss for this would probably be, somewhere up here if that's what you wanted, or, whatever. Target profit would obviously be lower than the position that you opened for this if you're shorting it. That would be two of the positions. One of the other potential options is maybe my target profit was down here, right? So if it gets all the way over here, and then right here, there's a new MACD bar, right? And we're on this current bar that's being created. And the last previous bar was, hey, by the way, it's changed direction. Then it should reverse the position, right? So the last position was bullish, and we were bearish. This means that the last MACD bar trend would not be null, right? It would now be bullish, right? Because this is bullish. So bullish is not what we currently are, which is bearish. So it should reverse position. So if I had one stock of Planet Fitness, then instead of buying one position to cancel or flatten my position, I would buy two. And in my personal opinion, I would just say buy two at market value. So I could go ahead and immediately get into that position, right? Right when that position is entered, again, it would have a stop loss, which would now be on this bottom side. You would have a target profit, which would be on the top side. And again, it would basically be looping through that other code, which is basically waiting for either your target profit or your stop loss to get hit. If neither of those get hit, it'll either close at the end of the market, or it will go ahead and reverse the position again later if maybe it doesn't hit your target profit, it's not the end of close, and it's not hitting a stop loss, right? So those few different options there. So that's the general idea. That's pretty much it. That's my general kind of synopsis of this whole strategy. So if the previous bar, MACD trend direction, so I'm calling that MACD trend direction, that little bar. So what this bar is when the, shoot, I forgot what they're called right off the top of my head now, but oh, okay, there you go. It's when the fast EMA or something like that. What are we called? Let's see, MACD crossover. I want this guy. Okay, so when my fast length, or I think it's called fast EMA or something like that, crosses over the slow length, then I want it to do blah, right? So when the fast crosses over to the top, I want it to buy. When the fast crosses over to the bottom, it should be shorting, right? That's ultimately how this is set up. Also, I should be able to change this fast and this slow and this MACD length within whatever code it is, and the average type should be exponential. Why? Because that's how I want to trade. That's my goals. That's the only reason why. So that's kind of where I'm at. So for Planet Fitness, hypothetically, if you weren't incurring commissions or anything like that, you could say something like buy immediately after this bar, and after you make 4 or 5 cents, go ahead and sell it, right? And then same thing for down direction, or maybe it's different for down direction. Maybe you notice in your down direction, it's only going to usually drop about 3 cents, right? So then I'd say only drop 3 cents, then collect your profit, right? And then, that's pretty much that. So that's what I got. That's the general idea. If you have questions, let me know. Definitely happy to help. And I'll actually end it with being able to see this whole thing. Shoop, shoop. There you go. And if you already have an open position, it shouldn't be able to buy again, right? Because it's just looping around this part. Just a heads up. So if you already have an open position, buying again or opening a position shouldn't be an option. It should immediately go over here, check the working, day, compare the working day to the current time, and if you're in that working day, or still, it's still working day, working hours, I guess I should say, then you'll go ahead and either request new bar or reverse position. Other than that, it's just trailing stop, target profit. That's it. So there should be no other option to open another position on top of this. That's where we're at. The only thing I don't think I've really included specifically in this is some of the pricing things and some of the quantity things. So there should be a static part somewhere within the code where I can change the quantity that I want purchased when it buys, and I should be able to change the price. So maybe I want to enter in at market price, or maybe I want to enter in at the current asking price, or the current bid price, or maybe I want some kind of deviation of the market price. So maybe I want to be 25 cents over the market price, or 25 cents under the market price. I also want that to be an option. So maybe if I can't squeeze my way in all the time at market, I don't know why I wouldn't be able to, but maybe I'm not able to squeeze my way in at market immediately when I get in, there will be that little thing that says I'll pay a little bit more, bam, so it'll go ahead and go through. So that's pretty much that. All right, I'll let you guys go. Thanks, take care. Let me know if you have questions.